Myth versus math. Which side are you on? When the topic of generational wealth comes up, it often sounds like a fairy tale, a story reserved for other people. We hear whispers of vast family fortunes, trust funds, inheritances, seemingly unattainable, like a castle in the clouds. People talk about it as if it were magic, a secret passed down through exclusive bloodlines, a club with a velvet rope, a bouncer who will never let you in. They say the rich always stay rich, that you need a massive windfall to even begin, that this conversation is not meant for people like you and me. These are the myths, stories that keep us standing still, feeling powerless. Now, let's turn the page and look at the math. The numbers do not lie. They tell a very different, and much more hopeful, story. So, what is this generational wealth we keep talking about? Let's strip away all the fancy jargon and get right to the point. In the simplest terms, generational wealth is any resource of value that is passed down from one generation of a family to the next. That is it. It is not just about mountains of cash sitting in a Swiss bank account. It is a much broader, more accessible concept. These resources, or assets, can be tangible things you can touch, like money, a paid-off house, a small business, a portfolio of stocks. They can also be intangible, yet equally powerful, assets like knowledge, skills, good financial habits. It is the story of a family that is better off because of the choices made by those who came before them. Let's use a very small, clear example to make this concrete. Imagine your grandfather, we will call him David, worked hard his whole life and managed to save enough to buy a small house. Sarah now has a place to live without the constant heavy burden of a mortgage payment. For decades, a significant portion of her income was dedicated solely to keeping a roof over her head. It was a financial mountain she climbed every single month. But now, that mountain is gone. This single event has fundamentally reshaped her financial landscape, freeing up hundreds of dollars in her budget each month. Let's visualize what that really means. Imagine her monthly take-home pay is $3,000. Previously, her mortgage payment might have been $1,200. That's a staggering 40% of her income, gone before she even buys groceries. Add in utilities, property taxes, and insurance, and housing could easily consume half her earnings. But now, that $1,200 line item is zero. Suddenly, her financial world has breathing room. So what happens to that freed up cash? It doesn't just vanish, it gets a new job. Let's follow the money. Out of that new $1,200, maybe $200 still goes toward property taxes and insurance. Another $100 goes into a dedicated fund for home maintenance. A leaky roof or a broken water heater won't become a financial crisis. But the remaining $900? That's where the magic of generational wealth begins. She decides to allocate a portion of it, say $200 a month, to start a small savings and investment fund specifically for you, her grandchild. It might not sound like a fortune, but it's a consistent, powerful stream of support that simply did not exist before. That house, and the financial security it provided, is a perfect example of tangible generational wealth. It is a physical asset that crossed from one generation to the next, creating a tangible opportunity, that monthly savings deposit that did not exist before. It's a direct link between the past and your future. But it's absolutely crucial to understand that this isn't just about physical things like houses or lump sums of cash. The most durable and powerful forms of wealth are often invisible. They are the habits, the knowledge, and the mindset that allow wealth to be built and sustained, not just received. So what if, instead of just giving you that $200 a month, she also spent time teaching you exactly how she manages her new budget? What if she sat down with you and explained her thought process, showing you how she allocates every single dollar with intention? What if she walked you through the process of opening your very first high-yield savings account, explaining what an interest rate is and why it matters? What if she used those junk mail credit card offers to explain the critical danger of high-interest debt, showing you how a small purchase can balloon into an insurmountable burden if not managed carefully? And what if she encouraged you, from your very first part-time job, to automate a transfer of just 10% of every paycheck into that savings account you open together? before you even have a chance to spend it. That knowledge, that financial literacy, and most importantly, that ingrained habit of saving is also a profound and powerful form of generational wealth. It's the software that makes the hardware of money actually work for you. It is a tool she has passed down to you, one that can help you build your own security and your own wealth, regardless of whether you inherit a house, a savings fund, or not a single dollar. The house provided the opportunity, but the habit provides the skill for a lifetime. This is why generational wealth is not a one-time event, like winning the lottery. A lottery win without financial knowledge is often a fast track to being broke again. True generational wealth is a process. It is a disciplined, often quiet, and sometimes boring series of small, positive choices repeated over a very long time. It is a chain of positive financial actions, valuable assets, and crucial knowledge, all linked together across time, from one generation to the next. Each link in the chain reinforces the others, making the whole structure stronger. This chain can take many forms. It could be the cash from a modest-term life insurance policy that allows a child to pay for college or a trade school without starting their adult life buried under a mountain of student debt. It could be a family business, no matter how small, a landscaping service, a local bakery, an online store that provides not just income, but also employment, practical skills, and a legacy of entrepreneurship for the next generation to build upon. Each of these is a seed, planted by one generation so the next can enjoy the shade. The biggest myth in personal finance, the one that stops so many people before they even start, is the belief that you must be born rich to build wealth. It's a powerful and pervasive story. We see movies, TV shows about families with names on buildings, and we think that's what wealth is. We see stories of vast inheritances, of trust funds that stretch for generations. It's easy to look at that and feel like the game is rigged. The narrative sinks in. If I wasn't born into that, I have no chance. It feels like trying to climb a mountain without any gear, while others are airlifted to the summit. I am here to tell you it is fundamentally wrong. That story, the one that feels so true, is a distraction from the real power you hold. The math tells a completely different story. A story of small beginnings, of quiet consistency, of a force more powerful than any single inheritance. The most powerful force in finance is not a large starting sum. It is the combination of consistency, time, and the returns your money earns on itself. This force is called compounding. Think of it like a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small, but as it rolls, it picks up more snow, getting bigger and bigger, faster and faster. Your money works the same way. The growth it earns its own growth. It is available to everyone, regardless of your starting point. Let's make this real. Imagine you start saving just $50 a month. That's about $12 a week, the cost of a few fancy coffees or a single lunch out. It's a small, almost unnoticeable change in spending for many. You put that $50 into a simple investment account, like a low-cost index fund, that historically averages about 7% per year. After 1 year, you've saved $600 and earned about $22 in growth. It doesn't sound like much, right? This is where most people lose faith. But the magic isn't in the first year. After 10 years, you've contributed $6,000, but the account could be worth over $8,600. That's $2,600 of pure growth, created from your consistency. Now let's look at 30 years. You've put in $18,000 of your own money, but with compounding, the account could be nearly $60,000. Over $40,000 of that is growth. Your money made more money than you put in. Now, let's push it a little. What if over time, you found a way to double that amount to $100 a month? Maybe you cut one more subscription, or got a small raise. After 10 years at that same 7% average, your $12,000 in contributions could grow to over $17,000. At 20 years, your $24,000 invested could become over $52,000. Notice how the growth is accelerating, and after 30 years, your $36,000 in contributions could explode to over $120,000. That's $84,000 created by the power of compounding. You more than tripled your money, simply by being consistent. Of course, a quick disclaimer. These numbers are for educational purposes. Investing involves risk, and historical returns don't guarantee future results. The key is the principle, not the exact number. This is the fundamental shift in thinking. Wealth isn't just about having a lot of money. It's about creating a system that makes money for you. The person who inherits $1 million but doesn't understand this principle can easily lose it all. But the person who builds the habit of saving and investing, even with small amounts, builds a foundation that is unshakable. You did not start with $1 million. You started with a decision, a small, manageable habit. That is the real secret. That is the math that beats the myth every single time. Another pervasive and disempowering myth is that the only way to get a real leg up in life is to receive a substantial inheritance. It's the idea that financial success is a lottery ticket, a gift bestowed upon you rather than a structure you build yourself. This line of thinking is a trap. It places your financial future entirely in the hands of someone else, contingent on an event that is not only uncertain, but may never happen at all. It fosters a passive mindset, where you're waiting for a rescue that isn't coming instead of taking the helm of your own ship. The truth is, wealth isn't a single, monolithic mountain you must be airlifted onto. It's a landscape with many paths, and most of them you can start walking yourself today without waiting for anyone. Let's explore 3 powerful, accessible paths that are available to almost everyone: homeownership, education, and the humble side business. First, let's compare the inheritance myth to the reality of homeownership, a classic wealth-building tool for regular families. Imagine a young couple, Maria and Sam. They aren't waiting for a windfall, they're creating their own. Through disciplined saving and careful budgeting, they accumulate a down payment for a modest $250,000 home. It's not a mansion, but it's theirs. They secure a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage, a predictable and stable financial commitment. In the early years of the mortgage, it's true that a larger portion of their monthly payment goes toward interest, but this is the cost of leveraging the bank's money. Crucially, with every single payment, a small but growing portion builds their equity, the part of the home they actually own. This is the magic of amortization. Fast forward 30 years. Through consistent disciplined payments, they now own the house outright. Let's say due to normal market appreciation over 3 decades, the home is now worth $500,000. They have successfully built a major asset, not through luck, but through discipline and consistency. Now, their options are vast. They can live completely mortgage-free, drastically reducing their monthly expenses in retirement. They could sell the home, downsize to a smaller place, and use the significant tax-free profit to fund their lifestyle. Or they can leave this tangible asset to their own children, creating the very generational wealth they didn't wait for themselves. This is forced savings at work, a system that builds wealth automatically through a necessary expense. The second path is investing in yourself. Education and skills that raise your income are one of the highest return investments you can make. This doesn't necessarily mean a 4-year degree. It could be a professional certification, a coding bootcamp, or mastering a high-demand trade. A salary increase of just $5,000 a year invested wisely can add hundreds of thousands to your net worth over a lifetime. The third path, and perhaps the most immediately accessible, is the side business. We often dismiss small amounts of money, but this is a mistake. A small, repeatable side business bringing in even $300 a month can be a financial superpower. This could be a service business, like freelance writing, graphic design, or tutoring online. It could be a digital product, like an ebook or a template you create once and sell many times. Or it could be a local hustle, like dog walking, lawn care, or selling crafts at a local market. That extra $300 a month isn't just pocket money. It's a tool. That's $3,600 a year. Directed at a high-interest credit card, it can crush that debt years ahead of schedule, saving you thousands in interest. Directed into a retirement account, it can grow into a substantial sum through the power of compounding, dramatically accelerating your journey to financial independence. The key is small, repeatable wins that build momentum. These paths, homeownership, self-investment, and side income, are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they amplify each other. Higher skills lead to better income, which makes saving for a down payment easier. A side business can pay for a certification course or accelerate mortgage payments. Stop staring in the rearview mirror, waiting for a financial windfall to appear. The road to wealth is paved with small, deliberate steps. Look ahead. Choose a vehicle you can drive yourself and start your journey today. The stock market is just a casino. It's too risky. You have to be a Wall Street genius. This myth keeps people parked in savings where inflation erodes value. The math shows sensible, long-term investing is one of the most reliable ways to grow wealth. Gambling is all or nothing. Investing manages risk through diversification and time. Instead of picking one hot stock, an index fund owns small pieces of hundreds or thousands of companies, so one loser doesn't sink the ship. In a year, you can lose money. Over 10, 20, 30 years, the overall trend has been up, and risk of loss falls the longer you stay invested. You do not need to be an expert, read dense reports, or watch the market daily. That often hurts results. Set an automatic monthly contribution. This is dollar cost averaging. You buy more shares when prices are low and fewer when high. It removes emotion and guesswork. Risk isn't gone, but it's managed and aligned with your long-term goals. Math and choices are powerful, but they operate in a world that is not always fair. History, policy, discrimination restricted access to key wealth tools like housing and education for many. Unequal access created gaps that compound into massive wealth disparities. Some families start laps ahead. This is inheritance beyond money. Access, opportunity, advantage. Recognizing this fuels compassion and the push for fair housing, pay equity, and educational reform. Acknowledging the barriers is important, but you must not let them paralyze you. Your power lies in what you can control, starting right now. It is about a series of small, intentional, and repeatable steps. First, you must have a plan for your money. A budget tells your money where to go instead of you wondering where it went. Start by tracking your income and expenses for 1 month. Be honest. This gives you a clear picture. Create a small gap between what you earn and what you spend. This gap is your power. Even $20 is $20 you control. Second, attack high-interest debt. Pay the highest APR first while making minimums on others, then roll payments down the list. Third, begin to invest regularly, even tiny amounts, and do not try to time the market. Do not panic when it drops. Keep contributing. Pay yourself first. Learn one new thing about money each week. Knowledge compounds too. Stories can show us what is possible. Let's talk about a woman named Anna. She grew up in a family living paycheck to paycheck. No inheritance, no trust fund, no family home. When she started her first job, she was starting from scratch. A coworker told her about the 401k and the company match. It sounded like free money. So, she signed up, saving just $30 from each paycheck. She brought lunch to save more. Years went by. She married, had children, and kept contributing automatically. At 40, they were stunned. Over $100,000 saved. They used part as a down payment on a small house. For the first time, they were homeowners. The most important part, she did not keep it secret. She showed her kids her 401k and explained the mortgage. She drove them to open Roth IRAs and helped them contribute $20 a month. She passed down not money, but the knowledge and the habit. In 1 generation, they went from 0 assets and 0 literacy to owning a home and raising automatic, educated savers. The seed of generational wealth had been planted. We have come full circle, back to the fundamental choice: myth versus math. The myth whispers, generational wealth is a secret club. Big fortunes, lucky breaks, being born into the right family. The myth is comfortable because it absolves you of responsibility. But it is a cage. The math tells a different story. It is a story of can. Small actions, consistent actions, Deliberate actions. Starting with $50 a month is infinitely more powerful than starting with nothing. Build equity month by month. Invest in your skills. You don't need to be a Wall Street wizard. You need a simple plan. Diversification. Discipline to stick with it. We acknowledge barriers not as excuses, but as the full, honest truth. The truth is, it is not magic. It is a habit. It is a choice. It is a process. Built brick by brick, dollar by dollar, lesson by lesson. Pay down debt. Save automatically. Invest patiently. Teach the next generation. You have the power to be the turning point. You can be the Anna of your family's story. This week, open a high-yield savings account and schedule an automatic transfer, even $10. Commit to one habit. Share one thing you learned with someone younger.